Be shocked to know it is not as good as you expected. Hey everyone, welcome back to Fitwatcher, and today in this video we'll be talking about Munjya and another series, and also towards the end of this video I will suggest you some pretty good songs and you will get to know whether you should give this movie your time or not. So let's go right into it. Okay, let's talk about Munjya. For context, I could not watch Munjya when it was released because my local theater did not even put it on. So now it is finally released on OTT and you'll be shocked to know it is not as good as you expected. And I'll tell you why, but let's talk about the story first. It is simple and not too complicated. Like all the other movies from the Stree horror universe, this one also covers another folklore of ghost of Maharashtra state in India. And mind you, it is based in the true lore of Munjya. So the plot opens with the story of a kid named Gotia who wants to marry a girl, Munni, who is 7 years older than him. But then his mom kicks his ass and then he goes there in the forest to do some black magic stuff, but he accidentally kills himself right there. And his spirit is trapped in the same tree under which he died that day. Fast forward to today's time, we are shown the story of Bittu, who is an ancestor to the kid who died in the village, and he somehow can see the ghost of the Rakshas, or who is also called a Munjya. And the story basically proceeds from this point. And now let's talk about the good and the bad aspects of this movie. First, let's start with the good points. The folklore of the village of Maharashtra, the story is interesting along with some horror elements. Second, the horror element with the kid-like character of Munjya feels tense and the character feels somewhat funny at times. The jump scare moment does it work and the creepy element was there for sure, but I wish we had more of that. And third, the songs were good and also the VFX of Munjya's character, especially in the night time, looked good for the most part. And lastly, the post-credit scene connects the movie to the other movies of the horror comedy universe, where we have shown the appearance of the character of Bhaskar from Bheria. Interestingly, the same scene was also shown in the post-credit scene of Stree 2. And now let's talk about the bad aspects of this movie. First, the problem with the character development. So Bittu's character development shows him initially as a coward like his father, but by the end he gains enough courage to confront Munjya and defend his loved ones. However, Bittu and Bella's relationship feels unnecessary and it does not go anywhere, which starts from Bittu's one-sided love to Bella, but Bella never looked at him that way. And even after all those facades in the movie, their story is still in the same place they were before. And second, the comedy element, which is a major part of this movie universe, and that I felt was quite missing a lot from this movie. For situational comedy, the lead character requires funny sidekick, and the sidekick in this one did not have that impact, and in some scenes it looked rather forced or cringy. And from this, I also want to talk about the other side characters too, like the side character of Satyaj's character. His character seems odd and unfit for the role. No doubt he's a brilliant actor, but it is just that role was simply not for him. And also they could have cast some other Marathi actors or even someone from the Bollywood that could have done justice to the role and perhaps made it a little funnier and not some cringy thing. Having said all these points, the only interesting character I found from this movie is the lead character of Bittu and his sweet granny. She was so cute, and also of course Munjya. But since the movie is a part of the Stree horror comedy universe, you need to watch this one for sure, considering you have already watched the latest Stree 2. But if you have not already watched it, then go watch in the theaters and make sure you watch this video on top before watching that one. Now let's come to the another series I watched this week, Jessica Jones season 2. The story of this season goes after Jessica kills Kilgrave in the end of the season 1, and this season focuses more on Jessica's backstory and her family, which she lost 17 years ago. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, check out this episode where I talked about season 1 of this series. But if you don't want to go for that, let me recap you the basic story of the character. Jessica Jones is a superhero character of Marvel. She is more like a street level character, just like Daredevil, and she has superhuman strength basically in the series, and she got her powers after a terrible accident. in her past where she lost all her family. To be honest, I did not find this season as good as season 1, but hold on a second, I am gonna expand on that one by one. First up, the show is not a regular superhero series, rather it is more like a crime thriller series, and in this series you will realize no character in this show is clean. I mean, everybody got a dark side to them. For example, Jessica's character is shit, lives like a shit, and she is not a good or bad character, she is just in the grey shade. And second, till now we did not get to see her true extent of her powers in the series. I mean, she is stronger than the average people, but how strong we don't know it yet. In comics though, she has a fast healing factor and she can also fly apart from being super strong. Third, the main plot hole of this series, you can say in the beginning, they emphasizes so much on the organization IGS who gave Jessica and many others like her their powers. But as soon as Jessica finds the lead scientist behind all this, the story goes to a completely different direction and totally ignored the organization and those other superhuman people like her. But again, it will be interesting to see how they integrate her character in the upcoming MCU, because as per rumors, she will also be a part of the upcoming Daredevil Born Again series in the MCU. And to rate those movies and series, I am thinking to implement my own rating, which will make you understand whether you should give it your precious time to a movie or not. So that will be fit for the movies I will definitely recommend, regular for those okay and one time watch kind of movies, and fat for those who you should not spend your time on. And for today's movies, I will keep both Munjya and Jessica Jones in the regular category. Both are one time watches for the best. Now let's quickly move on to the next chapter of this episode, where I will recommend you some good songs I came across this week. And for this week we have got We Pray by Coldplay from Coldplay's new album, California Summer by Post Malone, and Fathers and Sons country song album by Luke Combs. I especially love My Old Man Was Right songs lyrics, so do listen to them, and I have also provided link for all the songs in the first pinned comment itself. And let me know which movies you watched this week, and also comment what part of the video you liked and what I can improve upon. I'll be waiting for your comment, and thank you all for tuning in until this very end of today's episode. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification, because I'm gonna bring some pretty good stuff on Thursday. So until next time, stay fit and keep watching Fitwatcher. This is NK signing off.